What's up, Ragin Nation? How's it going? This is Alex Yu, and you're watching the TF Movie Show. This is just a web series. We're talking about the Transformers film franchise. This is episode number 82, and today is June 19th, 2023. It has been 10 days since the official release of Transformers on June 9th, but I did watch it on June 7th at the early fan screening event. I've seen it 3 times now, and I enjoyed every moment of this film. So, now it is that time you've been waiting for, my spoiler-filled review. I'm going to get into the fine details about all the things I really liked about this film. After all, I did give this film a 9 out of 10. And I'll talk about some of the details that I thought could use some improvement in another video. I won't get into that too much because I think that this could be a pretty long video. So let's just jump right into it. Let's start from the very beginning. Transformers Rise of the Beast has the best opening sequence for any Transformers live action film. Now, I'm not including Bumblebee because that is still the king and always will be the king because Bumblebee has that amazing Cybertron sequence. But as a Transformers live action film, you know, not a character spinoff like Bumblebee, this has got to be the best one. We got G1 lore in there with Unicron and then Scourge. You know, going into the Maximal's planet, and then we open with Ape Link fighting Scourge. It was a very brief fight, but it really establishes the character and establishes the story. Once you see this, you understand what's going on in this opening sequence. You really know what's to come and what's the objective. So they keep it pretty simple, and I think I like it like that. But it really shows you that Scourge is a force to be reckoned with. He is a really evil and fearful villain. And Ape Link, he really did his best to put on a good fight, and he was, he did it with honor. So that was a great sequence. I really love that. It was like, as soon as Scourge just tore his shoulder apart, I was like, oh, this guy is, this guy's brutal. So that was a great opening sequence. Then we fast forward to, is it 1994? We get introduced to Noah's character, and there was a moment where I was wondering, like, why does he need to be ex-military? What does it matter, right? We've seen military in the past, right? And then later on, you see him put on the exosuit. Then you understand why. This guy knows how to fight. This guy knows how to. This guy has tactics. This guy can be a leader, right? And it demonstrates that he can work as a team. Unlike at the beginning of the movie, the company, the boss that originally scheduled to hire him turned him down because he said that you can't work well with a team, right? But it really shows you that arc that he can work well as a team, and it really works. And I think that Noah is my favorite human character. You know, not Sam Witwicky, not Cade Yeager. I really like Noah a lot, and he really does serve a great purpose. Elena is adequate. And what I mean by that is she does exactly what she needs to do. Reading glyphs, making the informed decision to go to Peru because of her knowledge. So she does exactly what she needs to do. But at the end of the, make no mistake about it, Noah is the human hero here. And I thought that I wouldn't care about the humans, but I really do care about them. They're very well written for human characters in a Transformers film. I think they're done well compared to all the other human characters that we've seen in the past, not including what we've seen in Bumblebee, okay? Unicron is done right in this film, okay? This is the way Unicron should be. I know that in Unicron and Transformers Prime did come out of the ground, but I don't think we're ready for that. I think that it's important that we take more from G1 lore and give it to us in the way that he was meant to be originally be seen. So that was really, really cool. I'm just surprised that they gave us Unicron, in our first Transformers films since this reboot, you know what I'm saying? So I guess this is a way to establish that Unicron is going to be the big bad villain, for the next couple of films until we get to the very grand finale, which will probably end this Transformers saga. So, maybe it'll take 4 or 5 films before we finally get to see Unicron as the main villain. But we're getting there, and this was a really good teaser for that. So that's pretty cool. Autobots. I am so glad that we have gotten back to the robots in disguise concept. That's what Transformers is all about. Robots in disguise. We see, all the vehicles actually in alt modes and hiding their identities. Especially in Peru, they were just parked there, and nobody knew they were robots. We had a really great sequence where Noah meets Mirage for the first time, and it was a kind of playful, and I really, really like that. It kind of reminds me of how it was with Sam Witwicky and Bumblebee, and I really like that magic. You know what I'm saying? They brought that magic back. It doesn't top the Autobot arrival sequence, but it's still that mystery is still there and that playfulness. So I really like that. So the robots in disguise sequence is back, and I'm so glad for that. Not so much with the Terracons, in fact, not at all. But still, they do a really good job with it with the Autobots. I love that Optimus Prime has a backstory. The Mirage gives that exposition when talking to Noah while he's driving, talking about that. Optimus Prime feels responsible for Cybertron, and he that's why he is the way he is. And I love that they added those details because it gives you really more background about their characters. These are not just background characters who fight; they actually have stories and they have feelings, and they have history. So that is a lot of detail that we need for these wonderful beloved characters. Okay, I love that scene where it's not that I love the scene, but I love that they decided to add that Noah talking back to Optimus Prime. You remember that? He says, "I don't know if I can take orders from somebody who failed to save his own planet or something like that," right? And I'm like, "Ooh, okay, I'm." They're really taking this in a different direction. And then him wanting to destroy the transwarp key, I was like, this is a major twist. Like, it really gives you a bit of unpredictability. You don't know what's going to happen because this character, it's not always about, but okay, let's form a team and let's work together. It doesn't always start off that way. It starts off where it's a little bit more believable, where I don't necessarily trust these alien robots at the beginning, so I need to save my own planet before I think about them. Right? It's just a little bit more realistic that way, because you got to worry about your own race. The humans, before you worry about somebody else. Right? So I like that aspect of it. It's not something I was expecting, but I like that little twist that they added there. Okay. Terracons. Let's talk about the Terracons. You know what? I'm glad. At the beginning, I thought that maybe we should add more robots, right? Add more villains. Outnumber the Autobots. But they decided to do the opposite. 3 is enough. Battletrap, Nightbird, Scourge. I think that's enough. They got a whole bunch of minions. Scorponok and Freezer and those other Terracon drones, and Unicron, of course. So they got a lot of going on there. But the 3 main Terracons, I think that's enough. And I kind of think that they took a playbook from take a play out of Bumblebee with Dropkick and Shatter, because those are 2 really great Decepticons, and they just took a play out of that, and just less is more, because it gives you more screen time, gives them more ability to have opportunities for interaction, and I think we got just the right amount. Obviously as fans, we would want to see more, but I think we've got just the right amount. So that was really, really good. I want to talk about Battletrap. Battletrap is a brute force. You gotta have a character like that who's the brute force, who's the the muscle, and he's that. He's got a lot of great firepower. He's a tow truck, but he's got missiles, and he's got these towing chains that are very, very useful. So, and he proves that in the car chase. So he's not an easy to deal with villain, but he did get taken out pretty quickly. But for what he is, I think he's a pretty tough villain. And then you got to have the ninja like Nightbird. Okay, she's very agile, and I like that she's a flying Decepticon, right? So Terracon. She's somebody that you gotta find other ways to deal with her, because she flies around. She's not somebody that is always on the ground. So I love that they added that these little dynamics and really changing things up instead of always having ground battles. She's flying in the air, you see RC blasting away. Like those are really, it really creates opportunities to create really cool scenes that we've never really seen before. So that's really cool. Optimus Prime being defeated by Scourge in that in the museum fight on Ellis Island, that was great. Every hit, you can feel every hit that Scourge makes on Optimus Prime, because we know Optimus Prime is badass, right? We've seen him in the Forest fight, we've seen him in fight Lockdown, right, and Sentinel Prime, right? So we've seen that he can kick some major Decepticon evil robot ass, right? Right? But I think that seeing him being shocked by the fact that, hey, this is an upgraded upgraded villain. It can't be, when he tried to fight him with this battle axe and he's got the blades and none of them connect, right? So I thought that was a really great scene to really show you that Scourge is something else. He's a minion of Unicron. He's not a Decepticon. Optimus is able to deal with Decepticons no problem, but this is something entirely different, and it was a really, really good fight that he put up. So Scourge is definitely one of the tougher villains out there. So that was really, really awesome. And it really puts more weight on when they meet again, because they met again in Peru, and they fought each other, but then they meet each other one more time, and that required the help of a human and Mirage, right, and Bumblebee. So they put up a good fight. I gotta say that at the end of the movie, when he finally defeats Scourge, till all are one, right? That was awesome, but that wasn't the end of it. We still gotta have our big Transformers hero moment, and it was that moment when he swung Noah, and then he transforms in slow motion, and I just thought that I was cheering. I was freaking cheering. I was like going, woo, yes! I was cheering. That was a great hero moment, and I wish they didn't show that in the trailer. I really wish they didn't show it in the trailer. They showed too much in the trailer, okay? But that was such an epic moment. That is when you cheer. It kind of reminded me of the time of when I watched Transformers last night on the first showing, okay? There was some super fans in there, and then Optimus Prime rolls out for the first time in his vehicle mode in the whole movie, and then I heard some fans cheering like, yes! That was that moment. Except what's great about that was a Transformers moment, okay? That was when I love it when the Transformer characters, whether it's Decepticons or Autobots, utilize their alt modes in the middle of battle, right? That was one of those moments, and he did it in such a heroic way, and that is escaping Unicron's suckage. So that was done really, really well, and hats off to Stephen Cable Jr. for coming up with like great visuals like that, because he could have just ran away. He could have just shot in the air and got himself out of Unicron's grip, but then or suction. But he decided that I'm just going to use the G-force of driving off and really fast, and then made that moment so heroic, and the music was so awesome, especially with Steve Jablonski's Optimus Prime score coming back. What a great moment. Holy cow. I love that scene so much. That was beautiful. Like, it was perfectly executed. You couldn't get it any better than that. That was the most epic moment in the whole film, okay? Let's talk about Mirage almost dying. Pete Davidson is perfect Mirage, okay? You like his character so much. He gets a lot of screen time, gets a lot of dialogue moments. He's the heart of the film, okay? And then you see him protecting Noah because, he said that he promised Chris that he would get his back, right? And he gave him his back, and then he got blown to bits. And that there's that scene where Noah's just screaming for Mirage, and then you see him lifeless. You see his face is lifeless, right? And then that was just like, oh my god, I was getting pretty like, oh my god, like, this isn't really happening. No, please, don't let him die. I was like that, okay? I mean, that was just done so well that, I love that they add those moments. I mean, Stephen Cable Jr. decided that we're gonna take some risks here. We're gonna be really, really risky, and we're gonna put Autobot lives at risk. Like, they're not all powerful. This is war, and anything could happen. All right, so that was done really well. Air Razor switching sides was a nice little twist. I understand that was part of Beast Wars. She switches sides. That was a nice twist. I love that Michelle Yeoh, like, when she added her voice to that, like, her voice sounded so evil. And then they, Maximals, Optimus Primal had to take her out, and that was not an easy thing. So it really raises the stakes. So no matter the cost, right? I love the details, such as emblems. Emblems being ripped off by Terracon, Scourge. Him putting it on his chest. You see his Terracon. I mean, you see all his trophy emblems in the rear view mirror of Optimus Prime. That was such a freaking great shot. I love Stephen Cable Jr.'s attention to details to these things. To have a shot like that just is a picture worth of 1,000 words. It really invokes fear, and it really shows you what type of villain he is, right? It's not just something you just see and then it's forgotten about. It is something that comes up again and again. And then I love that moment when Optimus Prime flicks the Bumblebee's emblem back at him. Like we remember that. It's a callback to this moment, right? So that was, like I said, Stephen Cable Jr.'s attention to details. That's what I love about him as a director. He understands what the fans want. So that is really awesome. I also love the communication by radio. That's how Autobots communicate. Just like in the cartoons, when they're in alt modes, we see the dashboard and then it glows, right? So, little things like that. And the fact that RC can fit inside a van, Volkswagen bus, that's so, she's a robots in disguise, but what is a motorcycle like that just parked with no rider, right? So, yeah, I love those little things. I want to talk about Bumblebee dying and coming back. We got teased on the teaser trailer of Transformers last night of Bumblebee dying by the hands of Optimus Prime. Obviously, that's not going to happen. But then we got in the teaser trailer that he was impaled by Scourge. And I'm thinking, there's no way they're going to kill off Bumblebee. There's no way they're going to do that. And they do it. Of course, they bring him back. But that was such a satisfying moment. They kill off Scourge kills off Bumblebee. He's dead. But then there's an Energon surge. And then suddenly he's back, and they play the most perfect song. LL Cool J's Mama Said Knock You Out. And then I was cheering. I was cheering when that happened, because that was his big hero moment. I love that these characters have their hero moments, all right? Mirage, Optimus Prime, Bumblebee, they got their hero moments, and these moments that are where you cheer for them, okay? And they're not just characters which are just blasting away. We got some of that from RC and Wheeljack, but still, like, you still got your three main guys, Optimus, Mirage, and Bumblebee. They have their heroic moments, which really you feel in your heart, right? So that's really, really great. So the only thing is that this is a Beast Wars film, but the Maximals were kind of in the battle. They were background characters. It focused more on the Autobots. We get a lot of Optimus Primal in dialogue. We get a lot of Air Razor in exposition. But Cheetor and Rhinox were really just background characters. And it's a little bit unfortunate for an introductory Beast Wars movie. Hopefully they get their own movie. And their transformations were very, very quick. They're not like the same transformation as the other Autobots where you get to see full-on transformations. It was done really, really quick, and I wish they could have done some more details there. But we don't get to see them that much. It's just they only have their real 5 seconds of fame. Cheetor launches his spear at Nightbird, and then Rhinox does some smashing around, but with his hammer. But that's about it. And Optimus Primal has his moments fighting the Scorponok, saving Optimus Prime, killing off Battle Trap, but like that's it. Like they don't have much more to do besides that. I would like to see more. I think as fans we definitely would have liked to see more, but they kind of really limited their screen time and gave the Autobots more of their moments, right? This movie runs at a brisk 2 hours and 7 minutes, and it wastes no time. I actually really like that. It goes really fast. I mean, we're not treated to like these ridiculous. I mean, they're very entertaining. These city battles that last an hour, like Age of Extinction, Dark of the Moon. These are like huge sequences. And same with the Egypt fight, right? From Michael Bay. They're huge, but they're kind of exhausting. This one, we kind of it's an epic sequence, and it's definitely got a lot of fighting in it, but it's just way more. It's tighter, and I think it works a lot better because we're not given like these prolonged sequences of just a lot of human firing guns, and or just shooting at just a lot of shooting going on, right? So I love that these are actually like robot on robot battles that actually are they we really understand the cohesion of all the action, and it's just nothing really needs to be cut. Everything works. Everything that is shown, like they put on all the right scenes. Whereas I feel like they could have cut a lot of this from the Egypt battle or the Chicago battle or the Hong Kong battle. They could have cut a lot out of it, I feel, right? So it does. They do the right job in the editing and the editing of the action. It's done really well, and it's just done really tight. Okay, they trimmed off all the right parts. So let's talk about that ending. What a bit of a surprise. I'm very mixed on it. In a way, it excites me for things to come later. It excites me because it's like it was completely unexpected, but it kind of almost doesn't work for me because it takes away from the actual like the topic at hand, and that's Transformers, Maximals, Beast Wars. Kind of takes away from that. Like I get why they're trying to do that as a studio, as a business. They're doing it because they want to inject new life into the G.I. Joe franchise, and they wanted to use a property that is already successful and that works to inject life into it. Maybe if they saw that they tried to reboot G.I. Joe and it didn't work, so maybe if we use it as something that already exists and is successful and use that as a vehicle, maybe people will actually be interested, right? So they did the right thing in terms of what they did as a business, for the property of G.I. Joe. But for me, I just think it kind of took away from the actual thing at hand, like the topic at hand, and that's Transformers. I would have liked an actual Transformers ending, such as something having to do with the Maximals, or something having to do with Unicron, or something having to do with like Megatron. I don't know, but just something that would have made me have the same reaction as the G.I. Joe reaction, but at least it has something to do with Transformers. So that's how I felt about that. Still, it's not a bad ending. It's just it's kind of like a what the heck type of ending, right? But at least they ended it with Mirage surviving, so we know he's not just a suit, right? An exosuit. So that it still works. It still works. It got everybody cheering or making noise at the end, right? So there you have it. That is my spoiler review. These are a lot of things that I liked about this film. I give this film a 9 out of 10. It's a great film. It's the best Transformers film. Bumblebee, not being a Transformers film, but a Transformers spin-off film, is still the best out of all these films because it's just got it's a great story. It's got great characters. This one, as a Transformers film, when you compare it to the rest of the Michael Bay films, I gotta say that this one's the best because this one feels like a Transformers film, and there's less focus on humans. The human element is there, but we got more focus on a Transformers story, okay, and Transformers characters. So that's what makes this the definitive Transformers film so far, until they bring out some more films that are better than this one. And that's all I gotta say. Share with me your thoughts, some of the things that you liked. We're gonna jump into for the next video. We're gonna talk about things that I think could use some improvement. No film is perfect. Okay, I mean, Michael Bay said it himself. He doesn't like to watch his own films because he likes to talk about how he can improve a lot of things. As a fan, I can tell you a lot of things that I would have liked to see that could work better, but of course that will increase the budget, increase the running time, and increase a lot of CG work, right? Just things that could be improved. Anyways, that's all I got to say in this video. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned for the next video. We got a lot to talk about. My name is Alex. Thanks for watching. See you next time. Peace.